Hey, hey.
Why do I have that in my screen? Yeah, it was the autofocus. Okay, so today we are having this fourth live stream, I think, like in this week, and we will check again how we can contribute to open source. So yesterday, let's start with what we have done recently. I will just like share my screen, get this stuff here, open a new tab, and share my full screen so that we could follow up together with what we have done. Where is the sharing? So yesterday after the live stream, I just went. Wait. After the live stream, I just went and have written some kind of summary for the work that we have done and published that on the repo so we could see it. And so today we will have the same thing, but like we will do it together so we can see how that's happening. By the way, if you are watching this, I would love to know where are you from or where are you watching from in the comments so we could like have an interactive way. So yeah. And here it is. So for the first day, we streamed for 2 hours and we had like opened a PR that's checking the view on open source button. And we have like talked about the open source project and some stuff related to that. The next day, we opened another PR in the PR compliance project, which is like a project that have a GitHub action that will check if someone is following your uh, style or logic in the PR they are opening on the issues they are opening. And this was like having a conflict with other actions. So we had like uh, wrote some kinds of script to solve that. And then we checked the populating uh, issue or the gap. It shouldn't be this one, by the way. Okay, we have checked the gap issue in the open source AI project. I need to update that link. And we start working on it. Then we had like this last project where we worked on like not project, let's say feature when we worked on adding params handling for the PRs in the app at open source. So what I'm going to do today, I didn't plan for this, so we'll check that together. Yesterday, I think I just like worked. Let me see here. This branch is out. Okay. So yesterday I just worked on the params handling for new highlight of adding in the open source app, but like I noticed that the logic of logging in is kind of broken and that could be improved to work on that so we could force login if someone just like trying to have a new highlight but like they are not logged in. Or the other thing that we could do is we could go and check the AI repo and see what we are having here and the issues so we could solve something else from this list of the issues. And I think that these issues here has been there for a long time and we can work on them. And I could we could start with debugging why this is not working, or we could check something else. So where should we start? I would prefer to go with this one, like um, the forced login one. If no one picked it from here, add impact. Let me check. Here we are going login. Yeah, here we have this one with this logic. So we could work on that, or we could work on the open source AI, which is both of them is kind of interesting. Bam, bam, bam. Let's, if we went for just, okay, for the first again, I just get curious about how does the login work for, yeah, so if you are in Google, it will just ask you to log in or create an account. And if you finish, I think they would direct you to that stuff directly to sign in, which is like what we are having here. Do we have any other way that's our for signing in the app itself? Um, yeah, I remember we worked on something similar to that, but like if it has a new, wait, we could check the pull request first again, and you could see if we have something done here before. Suggestion inside tab should indicate onboarding. Yeah, here we are having this is as not working. Force login and reports page. Here we have a force login logic that has been done before. But like this is happening. Why this? If user has reports, no, that's not what I'm looking for. Let's get back. Uh, reports page. I force again component. We have a component for that, which is in the issues. Add follow button to all use or pages. Implement data filter. Save contributors. This add force again when you clicked. Let me see. It highlights insights open source pizza. If we have that logic working somewhere, so we could check the logic I and have a similar experience for that. So we could see that we have someone here, and if we click on follow, they will check if we are logged in. If not, it will ask us to log in. So we have that logic on follow button. Let me see. Add follow button to users, following users on highlight, implement highlight feed, implement follow and unfollow feature. But like, when did we do that first again? Is that in the follow and unfollow? Mm, let's see the code here. Login, user follow, if not, they are checking the session token. Okay, this is taking more than what I expected. So to start with, we could just like go here and see what other contributors done. So the last thing I did was asking it to check this if it's working or not. Triage team, and we had like Vidagi said it's not working, and there is an issue is not loading in the extension. Let me see. Refuse to load through data type. Why we are having this? Refuse to load font. I will refresh this page and go to check against the same issues. Hmm. Let's go with this one. Live stream. Hmm. Do we have a different error log if it's like logged in or not? Let's check that. Here, we could log in so we can see what's going on. Hmm. Then just added this kind of ticker, and here we are logged in. So we could get back to this one. We see that we are logged in, and I will refresh the page to see if we have the same errors. Yeah, we have the same errors. It's not logging in. Like, why the error that I am having is different than the errors that Nidagi having, which is like, uh, I yeah. So I'm just like checking right now this why we are having this kind of errors, and here just telling them we are having a different errors. It will be interesting to check this one. What are we trying to load here that's not working? And why we are having a different error here? Or maybe he's having checking that from the div. I'm checking that in the okay. Here's the div one. Here's the production one. And to test the div one here, I need to let me refresh. I think that the content code will work, but like the server work. Yeah, the content work but like we need to have download React tools. D- I have them, I think. Anyway, let's get back to here. I remember that I have downloaded that tools, but like I didn't use them that much. Here we are having GitHub ID comment. Wait, I'm having that different issues because like I'm not testing this on new PR, I'm testing this on this page. And I need to test that on UPR and see what kind of results that it's showing for me. And this could be another story. So I'll just go to pull requests, create a new pull request. I think I have one in talk to repositories. I think I have one in the docs one that I didn't remove, which is like the one that I opened. Let's have the beta updated for us. I think sure add environment. The last branch that I used was the update readme, yeah. And here you could see that it's having some updates, so I could open pull request for that. And here we should expect this to have the function to have the mm, to have that here. And as you see, it's not working on this line. uh, I'm just like going to have that. I think like this is not finding some kind of selectors here, which is the reason that's not working. And I need to edit that. So it's having this errors. I tested this. Uh, its errors are showing always when the with the extension, and this error is what I'm having when I open a new PR, which is like where I expect to have that um where I'm expecting to have that extension to work and show here, and then I could just like go directly and have check that again, check this, add the line so we could find it in the code. Here is the created line, JavaScript. Hmm. I think this could be happening because of not finding or a bad selector that we are having here. But like this could be weird to check. So yeah, I could go to this one. We don't need this sticker anymore. So we have two issues that we could handle, so we should focus on the one I will not go to the other one that's related to the force again. I think it's not kind of that. Mm, actually, it's important to check if someone's logged in or not and force log in them, and that could be handled either on the middleware or in the page itself after opening it. So we could have that, but like I would prefer to have that in the middleware so we could go directly to login if you are creating something there. So let's just like document this again. And I don't like we have this action running always in the middleware. So when someone is going to the create a new highlight, they will have the middleware where it will redirect them to the login and we could move forward. So I hmm, okay, I will go with the open source AI extension for a simple reason, which is like if this is broken here, both yeah, if it's broken, so we could have fixed that bug first, then we could move forward. I will just try. We just see the code here. We are opening it, and I'm going to check. Wait, this is the browser extension. No, this is the app. I'm going to go to the open the browser extension folder. Here it is. And view and open source. This is not what I'm hoping to see. And let me check if we are I up to date. Yeah, this branch is up to date. So I could go to beta, just like get pull to get the last updates from GitHub, and then I would just like go and create a new branch, fix again. No, what was it? It was uh, fix. Here we could just like npm run dev. We could get back to this one here and check it. It's not working. Awesome. Wait, we used to have like the other feature that's missing here is the talk to repo feature. Let me check this one. Yeah, so we are missing the talk to repo feature. Wait, is this working? Start conversation. Let I will go with yeah, this is working. We have the error in the chat itself. Yeah, I need to check that later. So right now I just need to log in here, but like our server is working, dev is running, and we have everything, but like readme, development environment, npm on dev, on production npm build, npm preview, and we are having this one here working, but like this is not working. It might need to, yeah, we need to refresh that, and it's working right now, but like we are having some errors. Let's clear all, go back to this one, refresh it. We don't have any errors. Okay, if we open this one, okay, we don't have any error here, it's working. We could back to this code here, refresh that, and we got the errors. In its port, this is the comparing. Why do I have the debugger open? So here we are not getting this kind of comment where we are inserting this stuff, which is weird. Comment format. So, okay. The wall selector is not working. Return undefined. No, it's working, but like we are getting. Yeah, this is not a selector. This is the class itself. Here, if it's not working, we are adding this selector, and this is not selector. Why do we have such a code here? GitHub, if is GitHub pull request page, we are checking if this one is pull request page or not, which is pull request page. We are expecting that here to be true. Is GitHub pull request page false? What is the other selector that we are having here? Hmm. This one is like that. We are having, and what about this one? Both of them of these lines are not selectors, which is interesting. Mm, why they are okay? So we have updated the selectors here. And we are using them as selectors, but like they are not selectors. So I think like all of the stuff we have here should be broken. Dun, 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 dun. And just like documenting this process so we could find that later. I choose selectors. All the selectors right now are just the class names. Ah, they are. We could just write that here. Let's blame and see when was this issue introduced. Okay. Was this introduced like 6 months ago? It's not working for that long? No, I think it's not that. That shouldn't be the case. Yeah, we're just using this one here. Okay, to confirm that, we could just like go to the code, constants, and here we need to add those as selectors, which is like the classes. Wait, just want to confirm. Document get element by class name. Oh no, this it's working. I was expecting it to be query selector, but like we are having it by class name here, and we are having the selector, but like we are getting the child, first child, and then where is our page? This one, and here we are getting nothing from the selector. Selector itself has nothing. Okay, so this will break that and it will not show anything, which is expected. But like, was this something? We did have the selector here. What about this one here? We don't have this selector at all in the page. So my guess about having them as the selectors is correct. Hmm. The selectors are returning an undefined object or an empty object. So I will try to update that. Might be I will update it and check the result. So right now we are having the selector issue. So I think that selector is directing to something here. And we have a great class name here that's called action bar item container. And if we have that as selector, um, could give us a better result. So let's just try to, if GitHub pull request page, if it's a it will go to comment editor. If not, it will GitHub PR comment editor, GitHub new PR comment editor. I will just like answer the door and get back. Just a few, give me a few seconds. Yes, this is a Chrome extension, open source repo. I'll just answer the door and get back. So, okay, where am I? So we have an issue with the selector, but like new comment editor selector, and we have this one. Wait, so I forgot what is this about. This is a because we are out of the debugger. Uh, let's refresh that. Yeah, here is we are in the debugger again, and this one. Yeah, this one here. So it's false. So we are getting the second selector. This GitHub pull request page. What does this is GitHub pull request page doing? Where's the function? From your matchers and the utils. Yeah, this one. GitHub pull request button. GitHub pull. Yeah, if it's checking if the page or if it's a new pull request. Is GitHub is pull request create page and is pull request page. So this is like the create page, which is what I was expecting, to be honest, to see. The other one is the okay. So for where I was here, mm, here we get this one. If it's a pull request page, it will create that. If it's not, we will have the new PR. Yeah, and for this one, we don't need this, by the way. It was using the class selectors. We could go with the action something. Action bar items container. And we could have that here. And let's check what's going on again. So we have the selector as FlexNorUp MR0. Yeah, we have that correct here, but like I think it's not refreshed. Or do I need to just like update again? What errors we are having? Service workers. Okay. Here we get back to this one. And let's just open the inspector. Why it's not having it? Okay. Because it's not built. Let's just try that without this. What's the name of the selector that I have used? Action. So here I am having the selector. We are getting that selector and let's check comment format row. Check the selector itself. No, it's not working. Expanded it, but like I think since they are constant, I should have gotten an error here somehow. Or could we update them from here? Yeah. Because like here we don't have this kind of comment format row and everything else is not there. So we could just like go with this one. Have the first line updated. And see that we created this. And I think, yeah, we have added it here. And we are having it inside the action items, which is like, okay, awesome for what I'm expecting. Let's just run this one. Running, let's refresh. And it's working. Let's try to click on it. It's working. Like the server worker is not working. Let's just get back to this one. Refresh here. try that again. Here we could log in right now. Is should we be logged in to try that? I think so. So we are logged in right now, and this is working. Did GitHub change something in there? Like, this is happening because of this line. um. Uh. Allah, Allah, Akbar. Then. It's not related to our development. I think it's happening because of something changed in GitHub. Like we have added this 6 months ago. Boom. Or has it been like, no, it was working like 2 or 3 months ago. That's interesting. Okay, we'll just go and add that. So we are having that in a new comment, but like the other part that we need to check is this is supposed to work here, which is awesome. The other part is like when you open a pull request that's already here, we need to see that here, and right now it's available. We need to check it here as well. And yeah, that's broken. So we could see it here, but like since it's not working, what we could do is check that again. We get go up and see that we have the same container for the actions here. But like, do we have? Hmm. Do we have to query just like class get element by class name? Yeah, we are having two of them, which is like the first one, which is related to us. The second one is the comment one. Action bar item container. But like we are having the same logic here and here, I guess. And Ryan Nobel asked if you are making a Chrome extension a few minutes ago and just answered them that yes, this is the open source extension. Hmm. Actually, we don't need to have this kind of like checking stuff here since we inject description generator. Let's check if it's work. If we have that's working, is this is the function itself, and here where we are having it. So um, what did we have here? So here we are importing it, checking its per request create page, and then we are inserting that. And here we are just like if it's PR edit watch page, we are checking that every few seconds. Okay, so we are having that running here and we are checking it here every time and then. So I'm not sure like if per request page and create per page. So we are running that always. Since we are having the same, like if when I change that, we will have the same. When I change the actually like the class selector here, and this shouldn't be selected, should be named as like class instead of like selector, because like selector is, for me, when you tell me selector, I think about it as like a CSS selector, which is like could be dot something or like dot class name or hashtag ID name, and that's kind of confusing for me. I feel like we could have some kind of improvement here, but like that's not an improvement. Would it worth to have it or not? I'm not sure about that. But like this is something that we could have. Let's just like open an issue for this. And what I was doing, the pulls here we have the add, but like we don't have okay. We will go to extensions. It should be a feature, I think. Factor constant naming. Here we just like have those. Constant naming that we have right now is confusing. Since we are against while coding, and for that here, what we could have is example. We could write, yeah, so I will just like go with one example instead of having them all. Here, we will go with suggested solution, name that shown class as class. This could apply on other selectors as well. Okay, so we could just have this one here, here, here. and open it. Okay. So here we understood that this one. Here we understood that like the issue that we are having is because of the naming, and if we fix that naming, it will work. PR comment editor selector. I think this GitHub new comment editor selector, PR comment editor selector, GitHub PR comment text area selector. We could just like go with GitHub PR comment here. I need to import this one with that. The selector GitHub PR comment actions class. I have to S. So just like go get back to this one, get back to here, fix that. We don't have this anymore. But like since I removed that class, two classes, let's check if we have them anywhere else. No. Okay, so we have that class name just like used ons. Okay, let me check. New PR comment, okay. And PR comment. Yeah, so this classes are used ons. I could just like remove that directly and get it closer to this one because like we don't need this kind of much obstruction. Uh, Here we are just like having last name PR actions class name and so right now this should work for the first PR and it should add that for the action bar item container, but like we need to add it for all actions bar. Okay, let's go with like this. We'll commit the changes so we will not get like too much moving forward. So here we remove that, remove this extraction, change the PR. Okay, so we just fix, change the class name and remove extra code. Here we just like remove the class name. And the other thing that I was thinking about is right now we have that here as just like class name and we are checking the first one here and we are adding that after it. But like we are not checking if it's there or not. And so here we have this kind of action generator. So what I could do is like after getting this, and I need to get all class name like um action bars. Yeah, this is the action bars. Here, then I would loop over all of them, loop over action bars, so that why GitHub is giving me this. Control Enter. When I check all the action bars that I'm having, I will check if I think this has been used before. Yeah, there's a lot of extension based on, and that's weird code. Okay, so what I'm thinking about is that I will check all action bars that I'm having that, and since this is like working every now and then, I could loop over them and see if we have the AI button. And if we don't have that, I will just add the button so it will uh, move forward. So right now, what we are getting here, okay, we could run this stuff on. Uh, Here we have the action bars, and we need to have like a pull request so we could check both of them. Here, this pull request, we could see that we have the action bars down here. What is this? References? Yeah, I didn't see that before. And here we could have that here. So yeah, this is like the one not working, but like I could just run this, have the action bars. It's not working, not sure why. And here, action bars. So it's an HTML collection. So I'll just like loop over that. Can't we do it for each? Why? Wait. HTML collection. The HTML collection interface is a generic collection array-like object similar to arguments of elements in document order and offer method and properties for selecting from the list. Uh, HTML is the HTML DOM. If the HTML DOM is live, and the HTML is live, and it's always updating, and they are suggesting to use array form to add stuff to it. That's so here we have items named item, but like how could I iterate over that? I is it like node list? Action bars item length string value of constructor. We could go with what they are suggesting. Yeah, before it's what do you mean by this one? So it's always working whenever you have the new things that added. So let's check array from action bars. Right now we could array action array. Why it's not working? I'm not sure. Okay, action array for each. We could iterate over that right now. Okay, so let's go here. Let's go with what they are suggesting, but like, not sure about that. So it's updating when the underlying document is changed. So if we get that and you change something inside it, it will update again, which is what I am doing. That I want to update something inside that, but like when we update that, this will update it, so we'll get like an infinite loop. I think. Yeah, that makes sense. But like, why it's updating always? That's another question. So let's follow that comment. Mm, action bars array from action bars, and here action bars array dot for each action bar. We need to go with so for each action bar we need to add button generator, add generator button, and that would happen to be added. But like before that, we need to check if so the name of that id equal okay. So here, if action bar dot query selector id is not available, yeah, we need to enter that action bar to insert before action bar first element, first child. Otherwise, we will just ignore that. So let's just run that. Let's get updated. Control Shift R. Should see it here if it's working. And the extension is working. We have this. We could edit this one. Why? This is not updating. Okay, we could refresh the extension. And we could refresh this page as well. and it's refreshed, but like, why do I have breakpoint here? So we should expect to have edit. Okay, I need to have that text. Let's edit. And here, yeah, so we are getting this action bar class item, action bars. We are having that, and we are having action the button itself that we are having here. And then if action bar the ID is not available, which should I I it should be true. So if this is true, like the item is not available, with the code? Since this is true, it should go and insert that button generator thingy here. Yeah, it worked. What? And it worked for this one here as well. It's like it removed it from here. Wait. So it worked for this. We have that. Okay. If we go one step, okay, I'm not looping inside that. We'll have that here, and when we click it, we got stuff added to here. But like, let me refresh. Okay, let me test that somewhere else. So I was testing it on comparison page, not the app. AI. Do we have code here? Yeah, whatever. So we have that available here. But like, why it's not working? In this page? But like, even if it's not, if even if it's working here, this is like only working right now in the edit or like the description area or the first comment. But like, we are not having any extra logic added here unless that, yeah, that could work here. We don't need to have both of the stuff here. But like, if I go and click edit, I go for first iteration, it worked. Second, 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 iteration, it removed. I would love to have it there as well here. It's like here it's not working. So okay, we could have this as like a new issue, so we could separate the logic that we are doing. So we just like move forward here. We could just like go with this, and to have that working always here and showing up here, we don't need to have that like it's being removed, something that's removing it. Yeah, I think we have a code that remove this when we have like I don't remember what it's that's called checking, but like we had an issue of having multiple buttons somewhere. So I think there is some code that's remove it. But like where is that code? Is the question right now. Hmm. Okay, so the other approach that we could go, since like this is two different logics, is to do what to do. Action bar. So here we have that action bar, we have this, we are getting that. So instead of going with array from doing all of like doing this logic here, would it work if we just like added it to first element? Like even for the first element, I would check if that button is here or not. Hmm. Okay. Now how to find that? Remove, clear. Okay, the other way that you could find that instead of like going through the code and everything, we could go to duplicate, and here we had this kind of add blocking labels to take and question. Yeah, no. Yeah, I summarize there is glitchy. Not this one. Duplicate extension logo. Yeah, so this one, and here we could check how multiple button injection, how it was handled. What is this? Uh, is public repo, uh, DOM watcher. We have added DOM watcher just like so that could be disconnected if it went to another page. But like, That's not what I'm waiting to have. What about this here? PR checks edge cases. No. AI PR review menu. Okay, we have a lot of logic tasks done here. Dun 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 dun. I would prefer, it would be great like if we had this as like solving one issue instead of having this kind of large code. So we could just like go and focus on one thing. Generator extension. So okay, what I could do right now is like following my own advice, which I ignored, is to have this run as only for one code, like for the add route into the first action bar. Uh, I wouldn't prefer that approach, but like, so here, and then, okay, what I need to do is const first child equal action bar first child if action bar first child dot query. So we'll go with this one here. So that's there. If the first child, no, it's not the first child. Okay, if the square selector AI there, what? Wait, I'm having the classes going getting that item. After getting the item, I am getting the array, having the bottom, and then I'm getting the first child. Like, why did I get the first child? Actually, I don't need that. But like, for the first element, I'm checking if we have the button. If we don't have that button, we need to append insert before this and here for the first child. Otherwise, we just could ignore that. And I think like doing this will let it work for the first channel that we have, but like we will not have it at the last comment. Yet I would still prefer to add that at the last comment because like you might change stuff. Need to check that stuff. And here we get that extension broken. Here we go. So right now the extension is working. I just need to refresh it because like might not get the last update. And since it's like refreshed right now, I could go to this not blame here comparing, create a new PR, and here we have it. We have that, which is like awesome. It's what I'm expecting. The other area that I was expecting is to have it here. Refresh this. Here it didn't work. It didn't add it. I didn't add it here, neither here. So why? Boom, boom, boom. Let's refresh. We are getting that. Okay, so we are getting the containers, and here we are having that. So we are getting the first, and we have the query selector, and here, let's see, it's telling us that's true. So it will go here and add it. Listen for what is this? It's the bind.js. Okay, so we are adding that, and we are having this is being added. So I could move forward, and it's working. Why didn't it work a few minutes ago? Are you sure you want? Okay, I want to get that. I will edit, and I have that. I will refresh. It's working. I disable this. Refresh that again, and click on edit. And here we don't have it. I think there is something in the loading. Yeah. So the okay, what I could do right now is I could push this. Wait, what did I remove? Okay, what I could do is like fix add to the first. Um, add element to the comment row. I just changed the name. Add that. Add the element to the array DOM and check if it's not available. It's not added already. Okay, so we could just go commit, push this branch, open source browser extension, open source. Yeah, I will add it to my own stuff. So here, but like after that, what I could do here is add a feature request. Go to this stuff here and get back to this area. I will JavaScript one. Mm, hmm. Okay, I will add that pull request that I have, which is this one here, description fix the issue of not having the generate description and refactor the code. Is it that only what I did? Why did this take me a lot of time? Because I thought about other stuff to do. Okay. And then we remove that, added it here, use that, remove this, and just check two stuff. Okay. Okay, this is working and refactor the code. Added and check for the button to ignore see if hey. Oh hey Nick. Okay, so you are not hearing me. Okay. Thank you for that. So here I just like added that stuff there, and I'm just like having writing my PR and finishing what I'm doing. If the button is already added or not. And here it's like could be a bug fix. We should get back to the where is it? The issue that I'm having here. We need to fix show PR description generate button. Thank you, Nick, by the way, for watching this. It's really great to see you. And here, let's close this function stuff before after. I will ignore that, to be honest, because like the before just having this one, I could just like add a GIF right now, but like you are welcome. Thank you for like joining the stream is really awesome for me, to be honest. Uh, I could just I would just like create a request without adding the GIF right now. So here we just like added that, checked it and see. But like the other thing that I could open here is this feature request, which is like, I think we have that somewhere, but like, I'm not sure. Is like when I was coding, I used want to check all of the stuff that I'm having, but like for some reason that when this worked, there is something that was removing it. So I would it would be great to see that's like extension working on all action bars in a pull request so that you could like even generate this later when you want. So feature enable action AI description generator for all action or PRs even after get even on comments. Uh, the AI description generator is only working with when you right now it's just like only working when you open a new PR, but it would be and when you edit the first comment the PR, it would be great to have it. And then we have it for the last comment in the PR. And here we go, just like add right that for the suggestion that we are having is just like, by the way, Nick, if you would like, would you like to join the stream, by the way, have like a quick chit chat since I'm just like finishing this PR and have a short like catch up with you? Uh, yeah. Awesome. Okay, I will send you a link to Discord. Ding, ding, ding. I'm not sure if the link that I'm having right now is like something that's. Yeah, I just sent the link in Discord because like I'm not sure if this link that I was going to send is like the one that will be working king always or just like this time. So yeah. Mm, where? Okay, this one. I should have my. It's failed. What did we fail? The code standard. Okay, I will fix that. Mm. I'm just like writing what I have as documentation for what I could do it for the next time, or if someone else would work on that, so we could see this. And here we are done. I think I just like need to format my code. And yeah, here we have that npm run format. And by the way, if anyone else, I think I could generate that code later, who is watching right now, who would like to have a catch up after this and join the stream, just like let me know, or you can just like have with this link. Yeah, and here we have Nick. Hey, hey. I think your camera and yeah, I think the camera and the microphone is not working right now. I can't hear you. Short format. Okay. Here we just like added the last. Yeah, awesome. Okay, we'll wait you. Mm, so okay, I just like finished that. So I think at the end of this stream, what I could do right now is get back to the first open source, which is like Easy MD Rajab, 1 hour of open source. Actually, I need to change that from 1 hour to open source to something else because it's not being 1 hour. And we just go right. Let's add this link. Yannick Taylor is here again. Hey, hey.
Hey, my camera is massive here. Hold on a second.
Yeah, it's fine. Okay, I will wait you.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's all good. It's external webcam. There we go. There we go. Cool.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How about you?
Not too bad. Yeah. Yeah, no,
Oh,
I saw your stream pop up. Also, I was gonna mention I configured my Discord now, so whenever you go live on YouTube, it should create a thing in the YouTube channel on my Discord. So
yeah.
uh,
Thank you for that. To be honest, like I really appreciate it, because like for me, when I started this, I felt like since I am going to kind of stream every day for 1 hour, but like it's been exceeding 1 hour right now.
yeah.
I felt like having too much like promoting it every day would be too much. But like, thank you for adding that.
Oh yeah, no worries. Yeah, it's having done well because I stream on Twitch and stuff. You always gotta like send things out. Just like, hey, I'm going live and stuff. But once you like, I know some people in other Discords, so they have notifications like I've set up for you for my channel. So
Yeah,
it definitely helps. But I still post things on social, like on Twitter and LinkedIn, and some of my friends make fun of me that don't work in tech because all they ever see me saying is I'm going live somewhere, and so
yeah,
it's just kind of funny.
yeah. I get that. Like, and for me, I have some friends like which mentioned to me that it would be great if I had a schedule or something like that, but like
Yeah.
sometimes this doesn't work like this way.
Yeah. No, yeah, exactly. Like I I have a pretty consistent schedule for my Twitch stream now.
Yeah,
But yeah, like cuz yeah, I know your schedule is not that consistent, but you've been starting to do this with open source, kind of like an open source hour, I guess.
yeah. It's open source hour,
So
one
yeah.
hour of open source, and I just like
Yeah.
decided that on Saturday, last Saturday.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah. How
Yeah.
about you? How
So
was? Yeah.
oh no, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. You go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna ask you how you're doing because I think that's what you were about to ask me.
Yeah, yeah, I was going to ask you the same. So thank you for that. For me, I'm just like right now. I think I get laid off 2 weeks ago, so I just like start to find something
Okay.
right now, and yeah, I'm having like this 1 hour of open source right now, and I'm just like doing my own like writing and stuff behind that. What about you? How's your work right now in open source?
That's good. It's good. Like I'm working at Open Source now. Uh, Prior to that, I was working at Netlify, but I started working at Open Source on September 18th. So it's
Yeah,
still pretty new. So it's been like not quite October. Yeah, not quite 2 months yet, but
yeah,
I'd been contributing to the project prior to working there because it's open source and including helping with the Chrome extension that you're looking at right now. So
yeah.
I was familiar with the project to some degree prior to that, but yeah, no, I'm really enjoying it. The team's great. It's amazing to still work in open source, and it's a really interesting project, I think. So I'm just pretty hyped to be working on it. So
Yeah, that's really awesome. Like, and one of the greatest things in this project is kind of, as you mentioned, it's open source and there is a lot of to do. But for me, I was curious, like, since you joined, like, after contributing, how was the onboarding and how was like the workload that you are having?
yeah, it's the onboarding was really good. Had we had some internal docs to do onboarding, but then I also did go through all the projects to that I'm using currently, and went through their onboarding just to get things set up. It was a little easier for me, I think, because I had worked a bit on the open source app
Yeah,
already, so I kind of was familiar with the project already, and the Chrome extension, uh, that I'm just super familiar with. But no, it's been great. The workload. I mean, it's definitely more than when I was just contributing on my own time because I was
yeah,
working full time elsewhere. But it's I think it's going really well. Like just doing a lot of feature work, but this is something you have to do when when I used to work at Dev 2 as well. I was employed at Dev2, so I was doing feature work, fixing bugs and stuff. But you have to balance that with like, there's external contributors to the project.
Yeah.
So, you have to make time, obviously, to review pull requests and issues to see if they make sense or provide feedback. So it's a balance between that and uh, maybe it's not for everybody, because like
Yeah.
sometimes people are just like, I want to do my work and just do my work kind of.
Yeah.
But it's kind of something that just comes with working on an open source project. It's normal. Not that I'm context switching all the time. Like I block my time. So I'll be like in the morning, like I'll work out at the gym or something, then I'll check email, then I might go through issues and review some pull requests, and then I'll have a chunk of time where it's just like I'm working on not my actual work, but like my current issue or feature. And then when I take a break a little later, I might go review PRs and issues again, and kind of like that,
Yeah.
because going back and forth all the time isn't really great, if because you want to have some focus time to be able to
Y-
to dig into something. So, but that's how
Yeah.
I balance it. It seems to be going okay.
Yeah, that's really awesome. That's great. For me, like I know that as you mentioned, like open source kind of have this kind of PR review like and social experience, but like the other thing that I was more curious about is like when you switch like or when you move to a new job, like it will be overwhelming for the first few weeks usually or
Okay,
like
yeah.
month is it like, but like I think like how that felt for you, or was it like because since you are contributing before it was like since intensive for that?
Yeah, I mean, to your point, like you're saying, like I obviously was somewhat familiar with the projects already, some of them, but it typically what happens for me whenever I've started a new job, it's just I'm just thrown into stuff all the time.
Yeah.
So, like it doesn't mean you're not onboarding, but typically it's like for me, and it's not, I don't consider it a bad thing, but it's just like, can you work on this? And it's like, and it might be something I've never seen, but I'm like, yeah, okay, let's go. And just, you know, it, it's all about just investigating what's the issue, or how do I approach this. And as you get familiar with the code base, we were talking about this on the open sauce Twitter space just before. I typically like just look for stuff, like for example, if there's a bug with a message that said users updated successfully, but it's actually not updating the user. I'll look in the code base for users updated successfully. I'll
Yeah.
find where that message is or component it's in, and then you just start to dig. Okay, in that component, where is that being used? And then you basically follow a trail. That's why I always say it's like being a detective.
Yeah.
Um, uh, I was gonna ask you, because I was gonna tweet out that we're on your YouTube right now. What's your handle again? I know your name, but I can't. It,
It's
I find the Twitter search doesn't work well anymore. For
it's Rajab underscore two.
Okay,
You mean?
right. Okay, yeah, I found it. Okay.
Yeah. I need to change that handle to be honest to have it like consistent with my GitHub, but like I'm just like keeping it right now here. I have two handles by the way, two Twitter accounts right now.
Oh, okay, okay. Well,
And the
yeah,
other
I
one
just
is like
figured
the
out.
A0M0 Rajab. It's like similar to my GitHub.
Okay, 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 gotcha. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I tweeted it out. Yeah, so not that necessarily, not that I'm some tech influencer. It's not like we're gonna have 100,000 people in the chat now, but I always like to
Yeah.
just say, hey, we're doing something. Come hang with us. So,
Yeah. Awesome.
um, um, but yeah, so you've been speaking of the extension. So that I guess that's what you're working on right now. Like
Yeah. Would you
yeah,
like to? So for me, the extension like because I when I went yeah, like okay, I will get back. So when I start working and then you like for it's like when I start working on a new job, usually I take time and get disconnected from stuff. But like
yeah,
and recently I had like some kind of off time, so I couldn't choose. But right now I just like get back and start to contribute to the extension. I checked there's some stuff to contribute recently, which is like for 1 hour of open source, which is like
Okay.
what I'm doing. But like I think I found that the extension has a lot of stuff that could be done, which is like
Okay.
why I went with that. If you would like to see, like, because like as you see right now in the extension, we have a lot of bugs that opened from May, but like it's not resolved. I'm not sure like
Yeah.
why, and there is not a lot of contribution, so I felt like I could just like work there. It would be easier. And
Yeah.
beside that, I contributed to, I think, to the app as well, which is like there is some stuff that connected between the extension and the app, and we could have done
Okay.
like uh some contribution there. But like today I was like at the first of this trip, to be honest, I had like around 10-15 minutes thinking like, should I go with the app today or should I go with the extension?
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah. No,
that's
they're
it.
both interesting projects. Like for context for people checking out the stream. So, um, the browser extension. If folks have never like built a browser extension, think it's literally like an extension of a web page. So you can manipulate the page completely. You can make API calls. There's all kinds of things you can do. And because I used to work at McAfee, a security company, and I used to work on the password browser extension. Think of it,
Oh.
it's similar to like 1Password or like LastPass, their browser extension. So it's an interesting space to be in because you can change the page or you can add things to it. So like for example, when you use your password manager and you click on like the input field to log in, you'll typically see a little icon that's like 1Password or LastPass, and then you can click on that and you can choose your login. And the interesting thing about it is sometimes browser extensions mean you have to do bad practices in web development. And
Yeah.
what I mean is like, so for example, typically people will tell you not to use inline CSS styles because, like create a class and, just reuse that class or whatever. But sometimes because you're a browser extension, you like the page itself has its CSS already set. There might
Yeah.
be some stuff that's marked as like important or like based on like the CSS specificity will just win in terms of the styling. So like I remember like when I was working on the password extension, like even like those little icons and stuff, sometimes you would have to do like inline styles to say like, because when you do inline styles, it takes precedence over like classes and stuff. So you do stuff like that, which is typically not best practice.
Yeah.
Uh, but there's good reasons. It's because your extension, you want it to win at the end of the day in terms of like where the UI goes and stuff. And this kind of ties in a bit to I think some of the issues you opened were, I saw one about the button not being in the right place for open source. I think that
Yeah.
was one of the issues.
That's one. Like I
So
this worked on
yeah,
it like 2 days ago.
yeah, and that's a perfect example. Like I think you said in the issue, I don't know if you want to share it in the chat,
Yeah.
but the okay, the chat's there. I don't need to have YouTube open. Okay.
Uh,
Cool.
I would just like find this.
Yeah.
So I we could like go and open the pull request as well, like this one.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, here's the pull request. I will share it in the chat as well.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly here. Yeah. So this is, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you wrote in the issue when you were doing local development, it seemed to be fine. But when the extension was running like on github.com, there was something in the production GitHub code that was taking over precedence in terms
Ye-
of the CSS classes, I think.
Yeah, yeah, that's like the original issue, which is like I think Marcus opened it, which Marcus is like for context for people who are here is like another contributor to open source, and open source he is like an external contributor. So he just mentioned something that the as you mentioned, like the development is not similar to the um, production.
Okay,
Like that.
okay.
Yeah, here it's like different, but like I think here the issue is rather than like it's different because like we have two different cases that here they are comparing with it, because like if you go with this like the one on the left which is showing us uh, the what's the name of it, the account without having a
Okay.
description, which is well, like their own account, which is like different than
Oh,
having an
okay.
account with description, which is like the account they are comparing with, and
Okay.
that could be confusing because like for it would be great if they compared like the same case here.
Mhm. Yeah. No, we definitely want the buttons to be in the same place regardless of having a description or not. So
Yeah,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's like
So
the
yeah.
main issue here.
Okay, okay. Yeah. So there's different ways you could do it probably like um so right now what happens is if there is a description, it will put it above it, right? That's what's happening?
Right? Like it used to be to have like to check there is like in the GitHub that they are checking the account, the editor stuff, and they were adding it on top of that. But like after when I resolved that, I just like found the main container for all of this kind of actions, and I added the button on top of that container.
Okay.
Which is, I think it would be better if I went with the code changes. So previously it used to have, yeah, so here it used to to check the profile bio and check that, which is like what is causing this issue. But like if you change that and just like go and check the profile editable area, or it will be like a simple area that you can find it everywhere, and you will have the edge
Yeah.
case here for your own profile or others profile, so you could have like two different places that you will add it.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, we could check like if there's like if we go to if we go to a GitHub profile right now, like one that
Yeah,
has a
sure.
description. I don't know if yours has a description.
Mine has
Um,
a description, but like the things here is like your own profile is different than others people profiles.
okay, yeah, yeah. Okay, so if you go to my profile, just Nikki T online, I have a description.
EQT online, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we should see it kick in and okay. It seems oh, do I or maybe I don't have
No, you have a description, but like because like right now I'm developing and it's resolved this issue, and it's
oh,
merged as
okay.
well.
I was like, wow, I guess it's not a bug, but you fixed it. Okay, okay.
Yeah, it's fixed. Like I think like it took less than 24 hours when like Brian came and just like merged that.
Okay, okay. Yeah, no, I saw yeah, B Dougie was approved a bunch of the PRs, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay, yeah. Yeah, well, and that's but it's an important thing to know about like when you're building a browser extension because like obviously that bug came about because probably when the button was added, somebody was testing it without a description.
Yeah.
So, it's just trying to make the extension resilient to stuff like that is what's important. And there's a there's another interesting extension. It's not the open source extension, but it's called Refine GitHub. It's a project I contributed to. I actually converted it to TypeScript a few years ago. But the thing, what they do is they enhance GitHub. So like GitHub features, not what we're doing. For us, we're saying like like well we have some enhancements too, like the AI PR and stuff,
Yeah.
pull request description, but with this they do a lot of changes to the UI and stuff, so like and just add some nice things, but the funny not the funny thing, but like when we converted it to TypeScript, like TypeScript would say this element doesn't exist, and like the way they had to code the extension was like basically if GitHub changed their UI, because at one point GitHub was changing the user interface quite a bit,
Yeah,
and so like issues would get open, and so like I mean they have a good amount of people that contribute to the project, but it was just an interesting problem because it's like, okay, that changed, so now we have a bug, and then it would get fixed and stuff. And I think over time they made things more resilient, but it's just interesting that you depend your browser extension depends on like what the web page was at the point you developed it, you know?
yeah,
So
and
like for
that
example, GitHub changed like I don't know, maybe if they, at some point they moved the profile over to the right, you know, the extension wouldn't work probably because of just different CSS classes. Just as an
yeah,
example. But
yeah. And for that example, to be honest, today I had it when I was checking that other issue because like I will get back to that. I was debugging the code that is like not showing the AI description generator for the pull request, and when I was checking that, I found out like it's just like an issue with the class naming. It's like no, there is nothing else that changed. But like when I checked the class naming at that time, it was uh, like the last time that the class naming changed was like 6 months ago. So during this 6 months, like for the classes, nothing like has been done in the extension that will break that. But like what you can understand is that it's just like as you mentioned, GitHub just changed something and it just like broke the extension. And the issue here
yeah.
is like if the extension right there is not a lot of people who are using it, you might lose the features that you are have, or like it might get broken and get annotated somehow.
Yeah. And I'm glad you said that too, because this also ties into uh, end-to-end testing in general. Like not
Yeah,
we did a proof of concept for end-to-end testing for the browser extension when can't remember if it was Divi or Anush that did the proof of concept, but we're using Playwright to test the browser extension,
yeah,
and there's not a lot of tests. It was really like I asked them to just do a proof of concept to say like, okay, if the pop-up loads up, is it there? You know, but that's something we can definitely build off on. But my point about the end-to-end testing in general is we can kind of draw parallels to that and also building out the browser extension, because when you test for a um, when you do end-to-end tests, like this got more popularized with stuff like React Testing Library, which
yeah,
also, it's testing library in general now. It's used in many places, but you know, you don't want to say, go find me the button with the CSS class, super awesome style, because if the web page, if the people building the site at one point say we don't need super awesome style anymore, and they remove it or they change it to something else, your selector to find something won't work,
yeah,
or it won't find anything. So uh, we could, you know, you can kind of use the same methodologies as something like testing library, where you know, you say, I want to find a button where the text is called, you know, edit profile, or um, you know, or there's other attributes you can check, stuff that you could kind of query it in an accessible way to,
yeah,
you know, it might not always work because if it's a terrible site, it's probably not that accessible, but GitHub is very accessible. They've put a lot of time into that. So that's just another way to make things more resilient. Um, but it's kind of like an ongoing piece of work, you know, because things will change in GitHub over time. So it might not necessarily break the extension, but you know, like formatting or maybe the layout might change. So there's stuff like that to take account. But
yeah.
that's cool. You fixed that bug though.
Thank you for that. Like since you mentioned like the testing and the layout change, like if you think about coding, usually testing could be check the logic and stuff like that. But like the style is kind of hard to test because like you need to check it by your eyes because like a computer will not understand that directly. So
Yeah.
I think like this is kind of one of the issues that people could face at the beginning. But like I remember that I think React had some kind of style testing, which is like taking snapshot of what it is expecting to have and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, sorry, my audio cut out for a second. Can you repeat that last bit?
Yeah, so okay, I was just like saying that I think there is some kind of in the end of end testing that some kind of snapshot testing where you check the
Oh
style
yeah.
and you check the design if it's like correct or not, which is like
Yeah.
something as you mentioned, like when you use super awesome, like let's say CSS library, and you go to some other library, it will just like break that style.
Yeah, there's all kinds of testing. So like if you're building out with components and also I was just gonna mention the refined GitHub. It's not my project. That's my fork of it. It's
Yeah,
the person that created it is Sindra Sorhus, who's got like a ton of packages on npm. Just wanted to mention that and have in case he happens to see the stream. He's like, hey, that's not his project. But anyways, yeah, there's all kinds of testing and like when Jest the testing library framework came out, snapshot testing became very popular. So it'd be like, okay, I'm building a component and I'm just going to say create snapshot. And so like basically the first time you built it, you took the snapshot because you're like, I'm happy with how it looks. So let's take a snapshot. What what I experienced over time with these kinds of tests, and I know it's not just me, but people would just be like, they make changes to it, and then the test would run and the test would fail because you clearly changed something in the component, so the snapshot test didn't match. And so they would just be like, okay, I'm just gonna update the snapshot because there's a command where you can just say update it,
yeah,
and from there they would just go, okay, I updated it, and they most of the time people would stop looking at the snapshot, uh, and they would just merge it so that they could get the test to pass. And there's definitely benefits to snapshot testing, but it's not for everything necessarily. I think potentially for like if you're building out a design system that has components,
yeah,
those base components, it probably makes sense to use those in that scenario. But like, for example, if I built a page that uses like our buttons and like a tooltip and all that, I wouldn't create a snapshot of the page or like a bigger component that uses all those things because the value's kind of lost. Because what happens is like, say me on the team goes, oh, I need to update the tooltip to fix a styling issue, so you update the snapshot for the tooltip, that's
yeah,
good. But then the snapshot I created that is this mega component that uses the tooltip is going to fail. And it's not because my component isn't working well. It's just the style or something in the tooltip changed. So it kind of creates false like failures, you know?
yeah,
So I think they're good, but only if they're used in I guess not everywhere is what I would say, like in certain scenarios. So it's yeah. So that's what I'd say about that. But they're also snapshot testing is very useful for other things too. Like if you're generating um, code, or like when I worked at Netlify, we would generate code, and so we would take a snapshot of the code because that was important that that didn't change, or if it
yeah,
did change, it's because we clearly made a change. Stuff like that, it's valuable too, like textual stuff that you don't that you it you know, you could type this all out in the test, but it's not worth it, you know? But again, it's not to give the senior engineer answer, but it depends, what you're doing, I guess.
yeah. It's always like this kind of interesting situation in engineering. It's like it's always depends. You don't
Yeah.
have like a full answer for any question here, or like unless that you need to check the whole case and then you decide on that.
Yeah. And it's, when people say it depends, it's not to annoy people because they don't want to give an answer. It really is. It does depend. Like, I mean, maybe some people just say it depends because they don't know what to say, perhaps.
Yeah,
But a lot of times it's really just because, like, it really does depend on the scenario. Like, in this scenario, the snapshot testing makes complete sense, but here, maybe not, um, but there's so many parts of testing. There's like unit tests, there's like, component tests, there's like integration tests, and then there's end-to-end tests. And it's like, you could literally do all of those, but it would take a lot of time, and like you kind of have to find a balance and like trade off of like where you test, you know?
Yeah.
So like for example, an end-to-end test, they're really good to have because like say you want to test like I want to make sure that somebody can do the onboarding on OpenSauce. You know, you you get a lot of value out of writing an end-to-end test for that.
Yeah.
But the trade-off is it takes a long time to write that kind of test. But if you have that kind of test, then it probably makes sense to not do a lot of the other tests potentially,
Yeah.
because this covers so much. But but the components you use in that page, you'd probably still want tests for that. Some small logic for things like functions that are really like calculate tax or something, like in a shopping cart. You'd want to write a unit test for that probably, but then leave like a big end-to-end test maybe for testing out these typically what people just say are critical flows. So
Yeah.
it's all kinds of stuff, and it also comes with experience too.
Yeah. And like the other thing here besides that is, as you mentioned, like that there's a lot of stuff here. Sometimes, like when you are a junior or like for junior people, they are getting lost with this kind of stuff and thinking that they could learn this in short time, and then they get overwhelmed and just like doesn't understand the situation. And like, even in the last few years, I think there was like for the testing there was a test driven development, this test development, what? TDD, test driven development. Yeah. So this kind of stuff that is coming, and like a lot of people think about learning it, but like sometimes it's just like it's not something that you apply for every project, as you mentioned, or every situation. uh, I think we lost your voice.
So
Yeah, we can. Is it connected? Sure.
can you hear me okay now?
Yeah, I can hear you right now.
Okay, I switched the microphone. Something went weird, um, uh, but yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, for test-driven development, like it's not something I do all the time because I think test-driven development makes sense when you know what you're building. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna create an API. This API has these endpoints, and this is what I'm expecting. So you write the tests, and they fail initially because things aren't implemented or they're not complete. But a lot of times, like most of the stuff I work on, it's like not necessarily unknowns, but it's like it's not concrete in the sense that like I'm literally building it out. I mean, you have ideas of what it's going to be, but I and I think at a startup too, especially like you're building out stuff right now. It might change too. Like we're iterating on things. Like let's see, how does this work for like our users? Okay, no, that's not really what we need. Let's switch it up. So like you could invest all that time into testing it maybe, and
Yeah.
it might not be worth it because the things are changing still. Once I think you're like what you need, then I think it's good to add the testing there. But you know, I don't know if that's a spicy opinion or not. I don't think it is, but you know, uh, but having tests is definitely a good thing. Is what I'm getting at. It's just how you get there is depends.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah,
Yeah, that's kind of reminds me, to be honest, with the like agile methodology and waterfall like methodology, where you have like, as you mentioned, like if you know what you are doing, which is like similar to waterfall, and you are just having specification, you are going to do development testing and everything, then
yeah,
that could be a good example. But like with agile, like just focusing on testing, as you mentioned, like you could focus on something that more worth based on the experience that you have or the users. And like
yeah,
this is kind of the logic that you could see in the like, I think mostly in the USA companies, that they are focusing on the agile, and then when you go to Europe or like different countries that are focusing on waterfall and they are having everything perfect. So it's kind of uh, depends on the culture as I think about it.
Yeah, yeah. I've worked in all kinds of agile companies, and the one common theme is I've never worked anywhere where it worked super well, to be honest.
Yeah.
To be honest, because like I've experienced, I'm sure others have experienced this too. You have a stand up or a scrum. They're supposed to be short and it always ends up being longer than it should. Somebody goes on a tangent about something, and then you have to say like, well, can we discuss this after? And with sprints, you know they're it's a finite amount of time. Like I've worked at places where it was 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And typically when you would get to the end of the sprint, it's like you'd have these point systems to say like, this is how many points we need to deliver. And there was always compromises, and because it's like it's the end of the sprint, your thing has to get done.
Yeah.
I just don't like how it kind of forces that. And you can obviously say like, well, it's not going to be done this sprint, and then you continue. But I think, and it also depends what you're doing. Like if you're building a product, sprints might not be the best thing. Like I kind of became a fan of something called Kanban. So where
Yeah.
you basically, you know, you definitely have progress, and there might be iterations like every 2 weeks there's a check-in or something, but it's not a sprint in the sense that like after 2 weeks I have to have this feature shipped. It's more like giving checkpoints to say like, we made really good progress on this part of the product. I think we're about 60% done. And then you have another checkpoint and they're like, okay, we're like 95% done. And so probably in the next 3 days we'll have the feature shipped. It doesn't mean a literal like, this will be ready on Wednesday at 2 p.m. But you kind of go that way, or at least that's been my experience with Kanban. And I find that works better for product stuff.
Yeah.
But if you work at like an agency or somewhere where it's like, oh, we need to ship this out for this client in 2 weeks, it has to go out. That's a different mindset. So it depends. Again, it's always, it depends.
Yeah.
but but yeah, like we work in iterations right now. I mean, they call them sprints at open source, but I treat them more as like iterations. And like we definitely have stuff we're working on that we want to deliver. But if something's not completely ready, we make sure it gets done, but it might end up trickling into the next iteration. But yeah. What
Yeah.
about yourself? How have you worked? Because like you were saying, you're not in North America, so I don't think you are. Are you?
No, no, I am in Turkey right
Uh,
now, so it's in like
okay.
between Middle East and Europe,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Asia
Yeah.
and Europe. Yeah.
I'd love to get to Turkey. I've heard it's just a really great place to visit. I've had Turkish food, which is really amazing.
Awesome.
One
What did
of
you try?
uh, well, it's been so long. I can't remember the names of the dishes, but one of my old managers, he's Turkish, and so is his wife, and she was the chef at a Turkish restaurant in Montreal. So
Okay.
he invited us all over there to go eat one time, and I've been there a few other times, and it's just, I think the thing I noticed about it was always fresh food. And I mean, I guess any restaurant could cook with not fresh stuff, but it was just, the food was so good because of fresh ingredients, but also just lots of flavor. And I think I had lamb, and there's like some good salad dishes as well.
Yeah.
And it's but yeah, no, it's really good. There's a bunch of places, like there's even like it's not the same food, but there's like a good Afghani restaurant here as well, which is like just really good.
Yeah.
It's
Like
but yeah.
the food stories, to be honest, like a total other thing for me because like if you check, yeah, like this will be a bit of like and technical stuff, but like yeah, it's something that I like to be honest because like if you check the history of the food, like if you
Yeah.
go from like the what was the name of that road? there was like this kind of Silk Road, I think, yeah, which is like
Yeah,
starting
yeah, the Silk
from
Road. Yeah,
China and going to India, then getting to Europe, and I think that there's it's go to America. So if you go
yeah.
like to like the east of that road, which is like going to near India, you will have like more of uh, let's say more spices and more food like with like it's fresh with a lot of like flavors. But like if you go with to the west with you are going to Europe and America, it will be have like less flavors. And
Yeah.
the the interesting part here is like Turkey and Middle East is like in the middle of this road. So just like
Okay.
you will have this kind of like it's not too much of spices like if you go to
Okay.
India or like that region, and it's not like there is there is nothing that you will add in here. So just like the balance between both of them. And even like
Okay.
this, if you go with the countries, by the way, like if you check like in the west of Turkey and in the east of Turkey, the food culture changed or the cuisine it changed. Like even if
Okay.
you go to like Syria and then the west of Syria and the east of Syria, like with the it's like the borders have the same culture and the cuisines with Turkey,
Okay.
and
Okay.
that goes like this way with all of countries that's we're in that road.
Now I just want to go travel and eat food. We should let's take this stream on the road and let's just go eat food. You
I
know?
would love that. Okay, I would
Yeah.
be happy to do that. Have you tried
Yeah.
shawarma,
Yeah.
by the way, or doner? I'm not sure
Oh
how it's
yeah.
called.
Yeah. No, there's shawarma here. There's a lot of Lebanese food here too.
Yeah.
The joke I always make is, well, not joke, is truth, but like even even bad Lebanese food is really good still.
Okay,
It's
that's awesome. That's good.
like like for example, there's like a restaurant chain here called Amir, so it's more like fast food,
Yeah.
but it is like you can get falafel, shawarma, and rice, all that stuff, and it's still really good, but it's not it's like a fast food version of it, but it's
Yeah.
still very good. And then if you go to like a not a fast food Lebanese restaurant, but then it's even better. um and like, yeah, there's so much stuff. Like, even you were talking about India, I got to travel to India for work once. And I mean, even before going there, I always loved Indian food, but when I was there, the food was so good, like paneer and like aloo gobi, just like I mean, it's good here in Montreal too. There's a lot of really great Indian restaurants, but it was just nice eating it in India. It was really
Yeah.
good.
You will have like the original taste here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cool, cool.
Awesome. For shawarma, by the way, just like this is again related to the Silk Road, which is like in Syria and Lebanon, like you have a lot of garlic inside it. And if you go to
Yeah.
Turkey, you will have shawarma, by the way, which is like, by the way, for the word shawarma, it came from the word çevirme in Turkish, which means like rotating, which you
Okay,
have
yeah,
like
because yeah,
this rotating stuff there.
yeah, they're always like,
Yeah. And in Turkey they call it doner, which is like the similar word, but like it has
okay.
like in another like variant of it. And if you go to like um Greece, I think they call it gyro, which is like the
Yeah,
same.
gyros,
Yeah,
souvlaki. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, which is the same thing that's going all, but like it's changing with the flavors.
yeah. No, they're all really good. It's basically meat in a pita, for
Yeah,
the most part. So there's a common theme there. But yeah, they're all really good. I didn't eat lunch yet, so now I'm getting hungry.
yeah, I get hungry too. But now we eat dinner right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So uh, yeah, I was gonna say I could definitely talk about food all day, but to get back to the extension, so you've been opening up a lot of issues and working on there. I guess that's kind of your main focus right now, while you have some
Y-
time off, or
yeah. Right now, just like when I have this kind of time off with this kind of 1 hour of open source, I think I will focus on the extension right now because
okay,
like not directly extension but like on open source project because I'm familiar with that, and this kind of 1 hour of open source, what I want to show here is like how you
hmm,
contribute to open source by yourself instead of like teaching something different. But like
yeah,
I think this could go like for 1 month or something like that. Then I would just like try to check some new project and just like would have I think I will change the style at that time. I will go with code with something. So I would just like
okay,
have more extended version of the live stream, because like right now, even with 1 hour, I couldn't fit with 1 hour of coding, to be honest.
Okay.
Because like at
Yeah.
the end of the 1 hour, you just like feel like it just like 10 minutes. I will finish it, and then you go with 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, the time flies when you're on a stream or like a live,
Yeah,
cuz like when I have guests on, I usually book an hour and a half, but it depends on what we're doing. You know, like if it's live coding and like looking into a project, it typically goes longer just cuz it's just more digging into code and stuff, but
yeah,
sometimes if it's more interview style, it depends. It doesn't always, but like the interview style ones are more an hour usually. They do go longer sometimes, um, but yeah, it's. I was thinking of because like when I first started streaming when I worked at Dev2, because my work was open source, I just
yeah,
started streaming on Twitch doing my own work because it's not like I have to hide anything because there's nothing. I mean, the stuff I was working on was literally publicly available, so I was thinking of doing that again since I started at Open Source. I've just been, just getting settled in because been busy in a good way.
yeah,
And I do my own stream on Mondays still. So, but I'm thinking I might just do kind of like what you're doing, but I'll be working on like a feature I'm working on. But I'll see when I'll start it up though, just because it's just making sure I get everything kind of settled in first before I
yeah.
start doing something like that. Yeah.
That's
But
like
it's
that's the hard part.
but it's good though because if people, you know, if you get people watching the stream, the thing I like is if people see you coding, they can offer suggestions or they're like, "Oh no, that won't work." And so
Yeah,
I like that aspect of it. I don't treat it as like somebody telling me I'm doing something wrong. I treat it more like as if I was pair programming with people. So it's definitely interesting. But
yeah. That's interesting part.
yeah.
Like even like one of the interesting part is like having this conversation, to be honest, because like I wasn't expecting like uh, to turn like to have like this kind of conversation at the stream, but like you as you just like I saw you, I was like, would you like to jump on the call? I was like, he was
Oh
okay.
yeah, yeah.
So I
Always
really
happy
appreciate
to
that.
chat. Yeah. Yeah, and for folks who don't know, Abdurrahman has a podcast as well. I was a guest on. Was it earlier this year or was it last year? I
This
can't
year,
remember.
no, I think like
Yeah, it
one
was.
or 2 months ago.
Yeah. So there's the live streaming obviously, but uh, he has a podcast as well. So that's definitely worth checking out. There's I don't know how many episodes you've done, but you've got quite a few from what I remember.
Yeah, I get like in total I get like more than 30, which is like 24 in 24. Yeah, I had a 24 in Arabic and 14 in English, to be honest, I think.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's just like 38, something like that.
Yeah. No, that's cool. You do them in Arabic too, because I speak French just because I live in Quebec and
Yeah.
I'm English, but I'm bilingual. But I had thought about doing some streams in French with some people that are French, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I wasn't sure if it would do well or not, or it's a little different because then I have to specifically find people who are French to talk about a project, which might not be the case, you know. So it's like, but I know there's like one of the moderators from Dev2 who I know, Thomas. His last name's escaping me, but his Twitter handle's like Thomas BNT, I think. Um, so he's from France. So I thought it would be fun doing like live coding with him one day and just doing it in French. But then I was thinking of finding a translation service for the stream so
Yeah.
that like even if you're not French, you could still listen to it because YouTube doesn't do that automatically because it's not that it's necessarily complicated nowadays, but I think it's more it'd be expensive, I think.
Yeah,
So
they don't. Yeah, I think they have like this kind of feature right now, which is like dubbing feature, but like for more of like large. channels rather than like
Okay.
small ones, because like I remember that Mr. Beast once had an interview and he has like he merged all of his like multilingual channels to one channel, and that's it's
Oh,
like
okay.
having everything from one channel, but like the feature is still like frame feature or something like that for just like people who opted for it, not for
Oh,
everyone.
okay, okay. Yeah. I definitely do not have as many followers as Mr. Beast.
He's the largest channel, so just like they
Yeah.
will start if they want to roll a new feature, they will start with him.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah. Cool, cool. What was I gonna say? Yeah. Um, I do have to hop off soon because I have
Yeah,
a meeting in a bit, but what was I gonna say? Yeah, so you're doing these the rest of the month, you were saying?
yeah, I'm going to do continue with the rest of the month. I think like I will have like one long stream in the next
Okay.
this week or the next week, but like it will just like I will try that, because like I felt when you are like streaming or live coding, it would be much like um you will be focused, to be honest. Because like for me when I go like I get like distracted, but like for me when I am in stream, I just like feel like I need to finish this feature in this stream, so I will check that later.
Okay. Yeah. No, cool, cool, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to catch these and yeah, best of luck on working on those issues. I'll definitely be in GitHub checking those.
Thank you.
I've reviewed a couple of the browser extension ones recently, but because you fixed, we changed the domain, and that was why the login wasn't working. So that
Yeah.
thanks for that.
Thank you.
But yeah, I think B Dougie's been reviewing most of them right now, but I'll probably spend some time on them too because just need to. So
Yeah, thank you for that, by the way. And yeah, by the way, just like getting back to that, like the multilingual stuff that you mentioned, which is like when you start, we were thinking about French. For me, I had this kind of vibe when I started the Arabic podcast, by the way, which is like I felt if I went with English, it will have
yeah,
like higher success. I would have like larger market, more people that I could reach and stuff like that. But like back then, I just decided to go in Arabic because like the lack of content there. There you don't have this kind of awesome content,
yeah,
and like after and at that time I had like support from GitHub Education team, which is like shout outs for the
okay,
whole team there, for
nice,
from Elise Hollywood, Elise Juan, and like everyone else. And that support and that stuff to be like helped me to reach, to feel like since there is a lack of that stuff, but like we still have a lot of people that we could talk, and there is a lot of people who will join that. And in short time, like the podcast went into top 5 podcasts in the MENA region in Arabic.
okay,
And at that time, I was just surprised because like my goal wasn't like to go to top 5. To be honest, my goal was just like let's
yeah,
do podcast and see how things will go.
yeah. No, no, for sure. And the thing too is like, I mean, people get focused on English North America a lot, but there's like huge demographics all over the world that people don't tap into that they probably could. So
Yeah,
yeah. Oh, we
awesome.
got somebody in the chat saying hello. I don't know if
Yeah.
that's a friend of yours or.
Hello, Abdul Ajarf. I don't know him. So welcome to the chat today and the stream.
Yeah, yeah. No, it was a lot of fun. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
If you want another time, uh, if you want to hop on my Twitch stream sometime, I'd love to have you on. We could even kind of do similar thing if you wanted to. We could work on an issue. It'd be kind of fun, I think.
Yeah, that
It's
would be awesome.
yeah, cool, cool. Well, I'll reach out in Discord to message you. But
Yeah,
yeah,
sure.
now
I would.
now I think I'm gonna eat a shawarma or a gyro. I don't know.
Yeah, or I mean something like that. Yeah. And if
Yeah,
you go
yeah,
with shawarma, just like get a lot of tumia or let's see, garlic sauce.
yeah, yeah. The garlic sauce is so good. Oh,
Yeah.
oh man, awesome.
Awesome. Thank you for joining today. I really appreciate that and appreciate.
Yeah, no, thanks again for having me, Abdurrahman.
It's great to talk with you. So I think we could just like wrap that up. You have like another meeting in a few in a bit.
It's in about 30 minutes, but I have to eat some lunch first. So
Yeah. Have a great lunch then. Bon appetit.
okay, cool. Well, thanks again for having me.
Thank you again. Have a great time. So yeah,
You too. Bye.
thank you everyone who joined today, and hopefully see you later another stream.